Lesson 87 is about congruent polygons. Now, basically, it is going to be a triangle that have all angles and all sides are corresponding. They're congruent. They're the same. If you have two polygons that are congruent, basically they could be stacked on top of each other, and they would line up perfectly. Now let me show you how we're going to use that information. Let me sort of explain what all of these things mean. So basically, this is the same triangle. It's just rotated clockwise slightly. And you have these things called tick marks. And what tick marks do is they tell you which lines are congruent or equal to which lines. So here is one tick mark and here is one tick mark. That means this line is congruent to this line. Here is two tick marks, which means that this line is congruent to this line. 3 ticks means this line is congruent to that line. So that's what those tick marks mean and represent. So when you see that, you'll know which lines match which lines. In congruent triangles, not only do your lines match up, but your angles match up. So 1 tick mark, 1. That means those angles are congruent. 2, 2. Those angles are congruent. 3, 3. Those angles are congruent. Now let me kind of explain at this point what this lesson is asking you to do. Later there's going to be problems to do with it, but really this lesson is just representing and sort of understanding what congruency means. Okay, so let me show you a kind of how you're going to use this right now. This is the example problem from lesson 87, and I kind of want to walk you through it to see exactly how these questions for right now are going to be worded. So it says, draw and label 2 quadrilaterals to show that quad ABCD, and remember this symbol, let me get my pen working. This symbol is the congruent symbol. It's an equal sign with a squiggle on top. Okay, so that means quad ABCD is congruent to quad EFGH. Okay, first of all, a quadrilateral is a 4-sided object. Quad means 4. Okay, so we're going to draw 2 quadrilaterals, and as long as it has 4 sides, it doesn't really matter. Oops, let me actually redo that. That's too long. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so the first quadrilateral's name is ABCD. That means the vertices are labeled ABCD. The second name is EFGH. Except I need to, because I did A to B long, I need to do E to F long. And then G is short, and then H. And so what we have to do now is we need to show, using tick marks, which lines are congruent to which lines. So A to B is long, long. E to F is long. And then if I keep going clockwise, keep going clockwise, keep going clockwise, keep going clockwise, clockwise, then I'm going to tick mark the ones that match. That tells me that those are congruent. And in actuality, they don't use 4 tick marks. They use like a right angle sign. I've never seen that, but I've also not done a lot of geometry. So you can just use 4 tick marks. We also need to mark the congruent angles. So if I look at my tick marks, 4 to 1, I look at these tick marks, 4 to 1, those are going to match up. Now tick mark 1 to 2, it's going to be my second angle, 1 to 2, second angle, 2 to 3, third angle, fourth angle. And that's what it's asking you to do. Oh, this should have 4. That's terribly messy. There's an example, it's done in your textbook in a much better much prettier way that this is done. So you're going to be asked sometimes to draw quadrilaterals. There's one type of problem you're going to be asked to do. The other type of problem that you may be given, and I should have had this done, but you're going to be given a triangle and you're going to be asked to draw another triangle that is congruent to this triangle. And you're going to, here's my triangle. I'm going to draw another triangle that is congruent to it. So I'm going to do, it has a long, oops, hold on. Let me fix that. It has a short edge, it has a long edge, and then this that connects, it's called its hypotenuse. The short leg has 1 tick. The long leg has 2 ticks. And there's my congruent triangle. You literally just draw it facing another direction, putting in matching tick marks, okay? Don't make this harder than it is. It's literally just drawing shapes. We will use this information soon in like proving certain things about triangles, kind of an intro to geometry. But for right now, just remember tick marks mean they match. Your homework for this lesson is going to be just to complete all of lesson 87. So you have the classwork on page 191, and then you have activities 2, 3, and 4 on page 192. If you get stuck, let me know.